A man earns $20,000 a month and owns 5 properties in his name. But strangely, he never goes home. He prefers to sleep on the rooftop every single night.
你看她是个人吗？她真的不是人，她真的是个道德败坏的一个女人。我跟你讲，有的时候大不了刑拘混案，不可能干的事情，我的人不可能的。大不了就是这样。
He didn't even let her in the door. Instead, she yelled at her best friend, calling her not even human. So what on earth is going on? The story begins with Lee Yoon's husband. Lee Yoon's husband is named Lee Cheong. The two got married in 2009 and have been living together for over 10 years. They have children, a boy and a girl, and used to live a simple but happy life. But right as the new school year was about to start this year, Lee Yoon's husband suddenly disappeared. What she never expected was that, in addition to spending all the family's money, he had secretly taken out a $350,000 loan. What made her furious was that the money was given to another woman. When she saw the huge repayment bill from the bank, with shocking interest rates, she was outraged, especially with the kids about to start school. After all, the tuition fees for 3 children are no small expense. Her husband not only failed to leave a single cent for their education but also left behind this massive debt. Lee Yoon was convinced he had been unfaithful. Now, her husband, Lee Cheong, has been missing for a month. Wanting answers, Lee Yoon began searching for him in his other properties. Lee Cheong's family had once received government compensation for a land acquisition, resulting in 5 apartments. Just from rent, they earned over 10,000 yuan a month. Combined with Lee Cheong's side income, he made at least 20,000 monthly. In their area, the family was considered well off. Even so, after taking out that 350,000 loan, the husband simply vanished, something Lee Yoon found deeply suspicious. She searched all 5 of Lee Cheong's properties but found no trace of him. While going downstairs, she ran into his younger brother. She tried asking about her husband's whereabouts, but to her surprise, the brother lashed out at her. He said he knew nothing about his brother's personal affairs and had nothing to say. When Lee Yoon brought up the large debt, he replied, "He's got plenty of houses. If he needs money, he can just sell one." He refused to speak further. In his view, Lee Yoon wasn't looking for her husband, she was after his properties. Although Lee Cheong had those 5 apartments, they were all purchased before the marriage. None of them legally belonged to Lee Yoon. The brother went on to say that last year, the couple had even divorced temporarily to buy a house, then remarried this year, only for the arguments to start all over again. In his opinion, Lee Cheong wasn't hiding from debt, he wasn't short on money, but rather hiding from his terrifying wife. He insisted that the couple's problems were theirs alone to solve. Hearing her brother-in-law's accusations, Lee Yoon felt bitter and heartbroken. Lee Cheong was divorced before. 13 years ago, she, a young unmarried woman, married a man 9 years older who had already been through 1 marriage. They had 1 daughter and 2 sons. She believed that, being older and more experienced, he would be more responsible and understanding. But life together didn't turn out that way. Lee Yoon was disciplined and organized, strict with their 3 children. The eldest daughter began dance lessons at a young age, and the twin boys excelled academically. By the end of 1st grade, their home was filled with certificates. Lee Yoon says she doesn't have a high education, only a technical degree, so she pinned all her hopes on her children. She wanted them to study hard, be ambitious, and get into good universities, fulfilling the dreams she couldn't. She even made a list of over 10 family rules and hung it up at home to guide her children's behavior and study habits. At the same time, she expected her husband to follow the same rules, like getting up at 7 every morning instead of sleeping in, as a man striving for progress should. But to her disappointment, he never took those rules seriously. After their marriage, he became lazy and unmotivated. They argued countless times because of it. And this time, she was convinced he had betrayed their family. Driven by anger, Lee Yoon went straight to the home of the woman her husband had transferred 350,000 to. As soon as the door opened, she was scolded and denied entry. That's the scene from the beginning of our story. It turned out that the woman who borrowed the money from Lee Cheong was none other than Lee Yoon's best friend of over 10 years, Wang Fang. Wang Fang said. She admitted that Lee Cheong had lent her the 350,000 and that she had been repaying it on time every month. But over the last 2 months, due to financial struggles, she had delayed payment, and that's when Lee Yoon started causing trouble. Wang Fang said Lee Yoon had spread rumors that her mother-in-law had died of a stroke and even accused her of having an affair with Lee Yoon's husband. Wang Fang was furious. claiming the idea to borrow the $350,000 had actually come from Li Yun herself. According to Wang Fang, Li Yun was only stirring things up because she wanted to seize her husband's houses and money. She even claimed that Li Yun had driven her husband to sleep on the rooftop, and still, he refused to return home. When Li Yun's husband had no money, Wang Fang and her husband had helped him financially. Eventually, after much effort, Li Qiong agreed to meet his wife. Regarding the loan, he said his wife knew about it all along. He only helped Wang Fang because she was his wife's close friend. But now, seeing his wife invent lies, even suggesting he had been unfaithful, was something he could no longer tolerate. Li Qiong said he avoided being at home mainly because his wife was overly controlling and domineering. Whenever she got upset, she would smash things around the house. Most of their appliances were already broken. Worse, she often hit the children. If they did something she didn't like, she would lash out physically. The 3 kids were now afraid of her. Li Qiong admitted he wasn't the most ambitious man, but his monthly income was enough for a comfortable life. Still, Li Yun was never satisfied, always raising her expectations. For him, it was impossible to keep living like that. He wanted a divorce immediately. After separating, he planned to take care of the 3 children himself, and said the loan was not her concern. Because of this strong woman, weak man dynamic, combined with almost zero communication, the once loving couple had become complete strangers. Now, whether they choose to go their separate ways or not, both need to think carefully before deciding. Hopefully, they can find a solution that brings peace to both sides.
What's most striking about this story isn't just the betrayal or the money lost, it's how ego, control, and the lack of communication can completely destroy a family. Li Yun believed that discipline and strictness would keep everything in order, but she forgot that a home needs affection and understanding just as much as rules. Li Qiang, instead of facing their problems, chose to run away, and that escape wasn't just physical, it was emotional. He stopped trying, stopped being a husband and a present father, long before he disappeared. When 2 people spend more time trying to prove who's right than trying to understand each other, love slowly dies. Marriage turns into a battlefield where both fight for control, and the home that should be a refuge becomes a prison. In their case, that's exactly what happened. The woman who wanted a perfect family created a suffocating environment. The man who claimed to seek peace contributed to the chaos through his cowardice. In the end, both lost, and the ones who suffered the most were the children, who grew up surrounded by shouting, pressure, and fear. It's also revealing how money and status can distort one's sense of responsibility. Li Qiang earned enough to live comfortably, but financial stability can't replace emotional balance. When pride speaks louder, even 5 houses become worthless because no place feels like home anymore. And Wang Fang, the friend caught up in all this, shows another uncomfortable truth: how human relationships rot when self-interest takes over. No one here is completely innocent. Everyone acted out of ego, vanity, and resentment. This story isn't just about infidelity, it's about the collapse of empathy. It's about what happens when people stop talking and start accusing. And maybe that's the real lesson. Love doesn't die all at once. It dies from neglect, from words left unsaid, from small humiliations repeated day after day. Sometimes it's not money or cheating that destroys a relationship, it's silence. It's the fear of admitting that something has to change. It's the pride of never apologizing. And when a relationship reaches that point, it no longer matters who's right. What's left is only regret and loneliness. If you've made it this far, think about this. What's worth more, being right or being at peace? What truly builds a life together isn't rules or promises, it's the constant effort to understand each other, even when it hurts. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you in the next